of the unknown. It is very important to know that we have been haunted by fear of things which we do not know. Most of us, we asking sometimes question, what is going to happen tomorrow? We are afraid of tomorrow. That's why a lot of people, it is very difficult to take decision. Because they says, if I take this decision, what is going to happen to me if I take this kind of decision? Overcoming, in simple words, it just means to prevail. Prevailing over something which have been making you uncomfortable. Prevailing over fear. Prevailing over disappointment. That's why I want us to be able to go beyond our ability to overcome fear or to defeat fear. Most of the time, whenever we engage in a fight with fear, fear always overcomes. Always. Sometimes we fail. It's because we haven't even started. We are afraid to start. Because we did not start, that's why we fail. It's not that we are not capable. It does not mean that we are not able. But we are able. The effect of not starting, we are failures because we do not start. Until you start something, then you see result. You cannot expect a result where you did not start. No. If you want results, start. If you do not start, how will you know that you are able or not? How will you know that you are capable or not? How will you know that you are able to go beyond your ability if you do not start? People are so stuck to decision. Why? They are afraid of failing. A person who fails is not a coward. A coward is a person who do not even start. A true failure is not the one who starts and fails. It's the one who is afraid to start. It's the failure. Why people are afraid to start? Fear struck them by saying, if I start and I fail, what people will say about me? It's very important. You see, in life, take this advice. You must be concerned of what God will say about you, not what people will say about you. People always have something to say in your life. Either you succeed or you fail. They will always talk in the good way or in the wrong way. That's why it's very important. Stick your mind, redirect your mind about what God is going to say upon your life. Opinion of people always bring us down. Opinion of people always make our dream to disappear because you're afraid to say, if I do this, if I fail, what people will say. Well, people forget that in the Bible there is a promise which says, fear not. Can you read for me Lamentations chapter 3 verse 57?
Lamentations chapter 3 verse 57.
3 verse 57, 5-7.
Lamentations chapter 3 verse 57, it reads, you came near when I called you, and you said,
Okay.
do not fear.
You see, whenever you call God, He will never be far away from you. He comes near. And when He comes, He said, the faith thing said, do not fear. If God said, do not fear, why are we afraid of starting something new? Why? Because fear, God gives us a promise, do not fear. The person who gives you this promise is the maker of the universe. Is the person who has the first and the last word upon your life. No man has the last word upon your life. Until God says it is over, that is when it's going to be over. The first enemy of humankind, it is the comfort zone. That is the first enemy of humankind, the comfort zone. It's a zone whereby it's a range situation and activity where your ability are determined and not tested. In your comfort zone, it's where everything sits okay. Whatever you touch is okay, is good, is obeying. You find yourself comfort in that area. Because for me to go to town, I will walk 2 minutes. I catch it. You are comfortable in that area. That is the first enemy. Until you overcome that enemy, you will not do anything in life. Never. Comfort zone keep people captive. They think that's what they have. It is important. It is too much. In the contrary, it's nothing. It's nothing. Anyone who wants change in life must quit comfort zone. If you want change, get ready. Get rid of your comfort zone. Because it will not do you any good. It won't do you any good. I've seen people being in a place where they are not happy. Being in companies not enjoying. Having friends, it's like I've got no choice. They are there because they have no choice. Some even says the devil it's better the angel you do not know. That statement is not in the Bible. It is demoniac. The Bible says, resist to the devil and it's free from you. How come you're going to make the devil, you become comfortable with the devil? Because you know he is the devil. Since you know this is the devil, do something to find the angel. Whenever the devil comes, it will never give you gift. The devil comes to destroy, to steal and kill. The Bible is requesting us, you must resist the devil. Is going to flee away from you. Whenever he flees up from you, every fear which you do have will go with the devil. The devil always brings fear to nullify the word of God. When there is fear, there is no faith. Faith and fear does not go along. It does not go along. How come it be in a place you are not happy? You are afraid, saying that if I quit this place, people will say. Other people say, you see, I have no choice. It's better I just be here than to go start afresh. But in the meantime, you are worth more than that you have. If you are in a place where people does not appreciate you, where to stay? Until when you're going to wake up? You have potential within you to be great. But the problem is, the fear of unknown is shutting your life. Because you're asking yourself questions. If I quit this place, what will become of me? What people will say? The problem is not what people will say. The problem is where you are. Does God see you there? You know, the comfort zone is a place whereby everything is easy. I'll give you an example. One day, Jesus was with his disciple. They were on the shore of a lake. Jesus, after preaching, he sent his disciple away. They took a boat. They left the shore. Jesus went to the mountain to pray. The moment he finished praying, Jesus wanted to join back his disciple. And since there were no boats, Jesus, as God he was, he began to follow them by walking on the lake. When they saw him coming toward them, they thought it was a ghost. Then Peter shouted, "Lord, if it is you, permit me to come towards you." Jesus said, "Come toward me." The boat was a comfort zone. In the boat, they were secure. According to the law of physics, you cannot walk on water because gravity is going to pull you down. But Jesus defied that law of gravity. He walked on water. When Peter received the command to go toward Jesus, he began to walk on water. He walked first step, second step. The moment he realized he was walking on water, fear struck him. The moment fear struck him, Peter couldn't go further. He began to sink. Why is that sinking? Because he left the place where he was comfortable, the boat. The lake was not comfortable. But by the command of Jesus, he began to walk. But the moment he allowed fear to come inside of him, he began to sink. Most of the time, we are failing to do good things because of fear. Because of fear. He did the first step. The second one was coming. The third one, he was afraid. Oh, I'm walking on water. Things which was impossible. But let me tell you something. If you have your confidence in God, whatever you're planning to do will succeed. Because God will never let you down. Let me give you another example of comfort zone. You know, an eagle is the bird which flies higher. The eagle is the bird who does not fear storm. Whenever he sees the storm, that is the moment he's going to sock his wings in the midst of the storm in order for him to go very high. But an eaglet, when an eaglet is born, is in the comfort of the nest. In the nest, everything is provided for the eaglet. But listen to this. When the eaglet become mature, he need to learn how to fly, to start hunting for himself. You know, eagle always position his nest on the top of the mountain, on the top of the cliff, which means it's very high. To learn how to fly, it is not easy from that altitude. But if an eaglet does not accept to get out of the nest, it will never learn how to fly. It will never learn. until they left the nest, then they'll be able to fly. Comfort zone kills a lot of people because they see everything is easy for them. You know why? People don't want to leave their comfort zone. They are afraid of tomorrow. Because today I'm getting this people, I know these people. If I depart from this environment, the place where I'm going, I have no connection. If I do this, it will be like this. That's the problem. The fear of tomorrow. But Jesus says this. Can you read for me Matthew chapter 6, verse 34? What does the Bible say about tomorrow?
Matthew chapter 6, verse
34.
34. It reads, "Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow,
Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow.
for tomorrow will worry about itself.
For tomorrow worrying about itself.
Each day has enough trouble of its own."
You see, God is giving us an example. This is Jesus talking. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's worry about itself. We know what we can see. We do not know what we can't see. That's why we can control only what we can see. That's why Jesus, knowing that, he said, don't worry about tomorrow, because no one sees tomorrow except him. Now, I want you to join me to a small journey to see someone who took a risk of leaving his comfort zone to go try something new. Let us go in the book of Ruth. Reading from chapter 2. Read for me verse 1 up to 6.
Ruth chapter 2 from verse 1 to 6. I read in the name of Jesus.
Amen.
Now Naomi had a relative on her husband's side, a man of standing from the clan of Elimelech, whose name was Boaz.
No. Okay, yeah. Mhm.
And Ruth the Moabite said to Naomi, "Let me go to the fields and pick up the leftover grain behind anyone in whose eyes I find favor." Naomi said to her, "Go ahead, my daughter." So she went out, entered a field, and began to glean behind the harvesters. As it turned out, she was working in a field belonging to Boaz, who was from the clan of Elimelech. Just then, Boaz arrived from Bethlehem and greeted the harvesters. "The Lord be with you. The Lord bless you," they answered. Boaz asked the overseer of his harvesters, "Who does that young woman belong to?" The overseer replied, "She is the Moabite who came back from the Moab with Naomi."
Okay, let me take you back. You sit back. Here, the story of Naomi and Ruth. To make a story short, Naomi was married to Elimelech, and she had two sons, Melon and Kilion. The Bible declares that at the time when there was a famine in Bethlehem, they left Bethlehem to go and reside in Moab in order for them to have food for a while. They did not go to stay in Moab permanently. They went to Moab for a while. They said, let's just go because there is no food. If you remember, in the time of Judges, there were no king. People were ruled by judges. They were doing as they please. And since they were not following the law of God, God was delivering them the hands of their enemies. At that particular time, the children of Israel, they were oppressed. So the enemy, whenever they were planting, enemy were coming and collect their fruits of their labor. Now famine struck the entire country of Israel. Elimelech, a native of Bethlehem, he decided to leave Bethlehem, which is the house of bread, to go and sojourn in Moab. When he went to Moab, the Bible says when he reached there, he died. When he died, he left behind his 2 sons and his wife. And the sons got married to Ruth and Orpah. Kilion married Ruth and Mel married Orpah. When they got married, after certain time, Kilion and Melon died. She became a widow. Now the moment was that the Bible said after 10 years, she learned that in Bethlehem, the Lord has visited your land. There is food in your land. She decided to go back to her land. When she was about to leave, her 2 daughters-in-law, Orpah and Ruth, decided, they said, we cannot let you go alone, we're going to go with you. They left. On their way, Naomi said, listen, it's better you go back to your people. Go back to your family. I'm going back home. Because even if you insisted of coming with me, even though if I can get a man to be married to, even though God can be so good to me, to give me kids, a child, will my child be ready to marry you? It's better you go back home. But Orpah, when he heard about won't be marriage, she left Naomi. But Ruth decided to follow Naomi. Remember, Ruth was a Moabite. A Moabite, it's it is descendants of Lot and his daughters. His daughter. Moabite is the product of incest. Moabites and Israelites, they were not getting along. Even the time when the people of Israel were leaving Egypt, Moabites were among the people who went to hire people to come and curse them. Moabite. That was the place where Elimelech went to stay. And each two married Moabite women. But Ruth, she decided to quit her family. The family whereby Moabites, let me explain about Moabites. You know, Moabites, it was people whereby the daughter had a child with the father. Moabite's mother was the same person. She's the mother and she's the... Do you get it? Moabite. The person who gave birth to Moabite, it was Lot's first daughter. She was Lot's first daughter. She was the mother of Moabite. The father of Moabite is Lot's, her father. Moabite, which means her sister was her mother. That was Moabite. Moabite is the people whereby the auntie was also the sister. They don't give them chance to succeed. Moabite. But she decided to quit that family. leaving Moab and go stay in Bethlehem, it was a challenge. The only person she knew was only Naomi. That's the only person she knew. It was a new place for Ruth. She did not know what was waiting for her on the other side. When it comes to marriage, she was disqualified to be married in Israel since she was a Moabite. But listen to this. The moment they were putting pressure on her to depart, she said, no, I will not leave you. I will go with you. Your God will be my God. She decided to reject her God. She decided to follow the living God. She said, I will not let you go. I will go with you. Where you will die, I will die. Your people will be my people. From today on, I'm disconnecting myself from my people. Your people will be my people. Ruth left Moab with Naomi. She decided to go start her life afresh. She decided to go start new things which she never done before. The things which caught my attention the moment they reached Bethlehem, the house of bread. Remember Naomi, the moment they arrived in the time of harvest. Naomi did not plow the land. They did not farm that year, which means they had nothing to go and collect because they did not plant. But when they arrived in Bethlehem, listen to the way this woman reasoned. She said, I will go out in any field just to walk behind those who are harvesting. I'll be picking out the leftover. Which means, in other words, she went to beg. She was a beggar. Leftover means what? You know, I remember, yeah, I was very young in the 90s. During harvesting time, like May, June, the company which my father used to work for, they had a big farm, maize farm. When the harvester machine goes in, there are some maize which was falling on the ground. Now they used to take us from school. We went into the field, all of us, picking up those leftover which the machine couldn't collect. But in Ruth's case, it was not the case. For her, because people were harvesting, they were making sure to collect everything which they could. The things which was not into their sights, those was the things which Ruth was targeting. Let me tell you something. If you stay one place, nothing will happen. There is opportunities out there waiting for you. It's waiting for you to do the first step. The moment she decided not to remain in the house, opportunity was there for her, waiting for her. The moment she left the house, she met opportunity. Not only any opportunity. The Bible declares, the moment she went out, she found herself in a field. Not any other field. In a field which was linked to Naomi. She went in the field which belonged to Boaz. That's where she found herself. Ruth accepted. She said, I will walk beyond people who are harvesting. You know the meaning of that? In life, you have to be ready to learn new skills. If you do not ready, you are not ready to learn new skills, it's very dangerous for you. She never went and walk beyond the harvesters, no. But here she said, no, this is a new terrain. This is a new field. I have to adapt myself in order for me to survive. I will be ready to walk after people because I don't know what they're doing. But once I'm beyond them, I'll be able to follow their steps. The more you follow people beyond, the more you'll be able to perfect the way you walk. Because those who are ahead of you, they are professional. They know what they are doing. In life, always be ready to start from the bottom, going up. If you're not ready to start from down, going up, it will be very difficult for you to reach new level. Every area are not the same. All companies are not the same. Policies are different. If you have a vision of greatness, be ready to start low. Despite your qualification, despite your knowledge, be ready to start low. That's the things which is killing a lot of churches. It's few pastors who are ready to acknowledge their mistakes. Few. If you are wrong, you are wrong. And if you say sorry, it won't change anything from you. It will change nothing. It changes nothing. To say sorry to a inferior is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of power. Jesus was on the cross. He asked God to forgive them. The same people who put him on the cross, ask forgiveness for them. Forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. Jesus, the Bible says, he humbled himself in order for him to access to power. And if you do not want to start low, how are you going to get the power? How are you going to get the greatness? A failure is a person who never starts. If you don't start, you're a failure. Oh, people will say. People will always say. Always, they will say. You dress good, they will say. You dress bad, they will say. You don't dress, they will say. What do you do? Don't mind them. If Ruth never went out to be beyond people, she could never ever find Boaz. She met Boaz well, following people at the back. That's why in life, make sure people who are around you are the people who are ready to support your vision. Make sure. Don't have people who always weigh you down, drain you with your ideas. Walk away from those people. Make sure the person who is next to you is the person who is empowering you. Whenever you come with a vision, is able to add something to perfect your vision. Make sure. When Ruth, listen to this. Ruth went to beg out. When she went to beg, guess what? The owner of the farm, Boaz, came. He saw the way she was waking. And he asked, who is this woman? They say she's the Moabite. You see, she's Ruth the Moabite. She had a tattoo linked to where she came from. No one could look at her because of her identity. People with no regards in Israel. When the time of lunch came,
Ruth went out without lunchbox. But when the moment of lunch came, she was able to eat and got full. You know why? Because she left her comfort zone. Opportunity was waiting for her there. That opportunity brought food on a table. When she went back and tell Naomi what happened, listen to the advice of Naomi. Do not go to another field. Remain there. You see, people, you must have people like this in life to encourage you in what you are doing. There are people in life who do not want to see you succeed. They are there. And they are close to you. Make sure you get rid of all those people. Because you never go far in life. You never go far. Now listen to this. In life, it's not about how you start. You understand? It's not about how small you start or how big you start. No, that's not the matter. In life, it's about how you end it. That is the most important thing. How you finish it. Ruth started like someone who is collecting stuff into the field. A beggar walking beyond those who were harvesting. But guess what? In the same field where she was a beggar, in the same field where she asked permission to collect the leftover, she became the owner of that field. Do you get it? Is it clear? Jack, is it clear? You understand? I will bring it to you. She became the owner of the field. The fields she were begging to collect from, she became the owner. But the moment she went in that field belonged to Boaz. And Boaz was the person with the right of redeeming. Because in Israel, if someone dies at a farm, and if he left behind a child, any nearest kinsman, he have to come and buy that land from the wife. But if there is a daughter-in-law which she never gave birth, the redeemer is able, before to buy the land, to also marry a widow, in order to bring up a family, so that the name of the man will never disappear. Now it came to pass, you see, in life, and now if the redeemer marries that widow, the son which is going to come from their union is going to be the heir upon everything which the redeemer has. If he has children before, they will never consider them. They will consider the child of him and the widow. But listen where the mystery is. In life, when you sacrifice something for others, others will be able to sacrifice things for you also. Don't always wait for people to do sacrifice for you. No. When you sacrifice for others, they will be also able to sacrifice for you. Let me bring it down. Boaz, I don't know if he had children. I've got no idea. I don't know. But Boaz decided, despite every danger of his offspring losing the inheritance, he accepted to marry Ruth because he was a redeemer. Note that the redeemer does not appear when you start. The redeemer appears the moment that things seems a bit complicated, where you've got no one to come in your help, whereby you've got nothing which is working out. That's why when Job was in the midst of trouble, in the midst of misery, he says this. Read for me. I want each one of us to understand. Job chapter 19, verse 25. What does it say?
Job.
Yes, Job.
Job chapter 19, verse 25. It reads, I know that my Redeemer lives, and that in the end he will stand on the earth.
Stop there. Job says this. I know. He does not say I believe. He said I know, which means I am sure of what I'm telling you. My Redeemer lives. He shall stand the last. You know, when everybody have spoken word about you, when everybody have concluded about your life, they finish talking, conclude, they say it is over. Nothing good will come out of him. There's nothing he can do. There's nowhere he can go. That is the moment where the Redeemer comes. Ruth departed from Moab. She stick herself to Naomi. You see, in life, whatever vision you have, don't let it go, no matter what. Life may seem complicated. Stick to your vision. Because the moment Ruth attached to Naomi, she knew, if I attach myself to this woman, she's able to change the course of my life. What is the purpose of a redeemer? A redeemer comes to restore what you have lost, to make it better. What was good, when the Redeemer comes, it will make it better. Redeemer comes and brings back freedom. And today, if we speak about David, Ruth, she is the grandmother of David. If we speak about Jesus, Ruth, she's the great grandmother of Jesus. Why? Because of the decision she took. Despite leaving a family, she did not know what was waiting for her in Bethlehem. But she said, I decide today to quit my family, to quit my land, to quit my comfort zone, and to go. If you remain in your comfort zone, nothing will happen in your life. Don't be afraid of starting. Start. When you start, you will find your way out. If you don't start, there is no way out. And be ready to start small. Be ready to follow people beyond in order for you to reach your destiny. The moment she went into the field, she did not even expect to find love again. And this woman, she was beautiful. She was young. But she got married to a redeemer. Not anybody, a redeemer. Boaz. You know, whenever you go out to start something new, Boaz is going to be on your way. Boaz is not any man. It's the person with the solution of your life. It's the person to set you free from the bondage you had for years. Boaz is there. The only condition, step out of your comfort zone. That is things which is keeping a lot of people captive. You are in a place whereby you are not happy. You say, if I go, people will say, they will say even if you remain there. They will say. You still there, they will still talk. You go, they will talk. You don't go, they will talk. What you have to do? Follow your vision. Follow your vision. Don't be afraid of starting something new. Start. Start small. It does not matter how big you start or how small you start. What matters, how are you going to finish? That is the most important thing. Ruth started as a beggar, collecting the leftovers. The same field where she started, she owned it. Why? Because she met Boaz in the same field. Since she did not restrain herself of going out, opportunity is everywhere. We don't see it, it's because we don't try. Try something new. You will meet your opportunity. Because if you try something new with God, you will never ever be disappointed. Since God will be on your side, you will never be disappointed. Sometimes we are starting things just to prove others I'm also able, then you will fail. You will fail. Don't do anything to please anybody. The person to prove yourself that you are able to do it. Don't prove anybody. They shall see. They shall know. They don't need to know anything. Do what you need to do. That is the most important thing. May God bless his ways for this afternoon.